Angel Reese, once the league's most viral star in the making, has been suspended for the entire season, fined over $1.2 million, and, if you can even believe it, fired from the Chicago sky after an explosive locker room rant that sent shockwaves to the entire sports world. Yes, you heard that right. Fired, not benched, not disciplined internally, not given a warning, and we'll handle this privately kind of spin. No, this was loud. This was official. This was final.
If you're here for the real story and not the filtered version, subscribe. And if you're sticking around for the next meltdown, you better definitely subscribe.
And the WNBA commissioner herself was the one to drop the hammer. Let that sink in. We are witnessing one of the most dramatic implosions in league history. And not because of poor performance or injury or even your typical off-court nonsense. No, this one, it was earned the old-fashioned way. Ego, attitude, and a complete disregard for team culture. This is a kind of meltdown that doesn't just affect one player or one team. It redefines what's acceptable in a league that's been fighting tooth and nail for visibility, respect, and growth. Angel Reese was supposed to be part of that growth. Instead, she just became its cautionary tale. Let's rewind the tape. It all started with tension. Quiet at first. The kind that brews behind closed doors, side eyes in huddles, passive-aggressive quotes in post-game interviews, teammates subtly keeping their distance. You know the vibes. But then, boom, a technical foul here, a flagrant there, a sideline outburst, and then the real tipping point, a locker room meltdown so nuclear, it shattered whatever was left of team chemistry. Details are still murky, but what we do know, she reportedly went off on her teammates. Loud, personal, unfiltered, names were named, blame was thrown, and when the coaches tried to intervene, she went at them, too. Imagine being a teammate try to focus on practice, and suddenly you're getting lit up by your own player on your own team for things that happened in the first quarter. And when the media got even a whiff of what went down, it was over. The league couldn't spin it. The sky couldn't protect her. And the WNBA commissioner? She stepped in and said, essentially, enough. Reese's behavior didn't just cross the line. It erased it. And that's how we got here. One of the biggest young stars in the league, fired mid-season, banned from suiting up, and slapped with one of the largest fines in WNBA history. And suddenly, the question isn't, how did we get here? It's, how did no one stop this sooner? Because let's be real, Angel Reese didn't become this person overnight. There were signs. From college to draft day to her first days in Chicago, there was always this underlying energy, a chip on her shoulder so sharp it could cut glass. At first, it was confidence, swagger, the kind of fire fans love to see in a rookie. But when that fire isn't managed, it becomes destruction. And this is where the WNBA, and let's be honest, the media, has to look in the mirror, because this entire situation was engineered. Angel Reese was marketed as the perfect villain to Caitlin Clark's Golden Girl image. That was the league's dream. That was ESPN's dream. Two young stars, two contrasting styles, two coasts of energy. Conflict sells, and they sold it hard. But what happens when the rivalry turns into real resentment? What happens when the spectacle overshadows the sport? When you prioritize theatrics over teamwork? You get this. An artificially inflated feud that never had the mutual respect needed to become a real rivalry. One built on branding instead of basketball, on headlines instead of hustle. And now, it's collapsed under its own hype. Because here's the truth no one wants to admit. You can't manufacture greatness. You can't market your way into legacy. That stuff is earned. And right now, the WNBA is paying the price for trying to shortcut it. Angel Reese's story was supposed to be about grit, dominance, style, and impact. Instead, it's about chaos, division, and self-destruction. And the irony? The very same media machine that lifted her up turned her into a walking storyline, a highlight reel, a brand, also set her up to fall the hardest. She wasn't supported. She wasn't coached through the adjustment. She wasn't taught what real leadership in the league looks like. And when the pressure hit, she cracked. Because being loud isn't the same as being a leader. Throwing shade isn't the same as setting a standard. And blaming your teammates in a public meltdown isn't passion. It's disrespect. Meanwhile, the league is starting to wake up. They're shifting the focus back toward players who embody consistency, discipline, and growth. Think Alyssa Thomas, who lets her game do the talking. Think Aya Wilson, who commands respect by example, not by outbursts. Quiet leadership. It's not glamorous, but it's essential. It's the kind of leadership that builds dynasties, not drama. And now, after everything, Angel Reese is a leader. She's a lesson in what happens when hype outpaces humility, when the spotlight blinds you to the people standing next to you, when being that girl becomes more important than being a teammate. But all of this leads to one big question. What happens now? Can Angel Reese come back from this? Because let's be honest, the league loves a comeback. It loves redemption arcs. Fans eat it up. But redemption only works if there's growth. If she comes back with the same energy, same ego, same inability to take accountability, she's done. But if she really hears this, if she takes this break to reflect, to listen, to rebuild who she is as a professional, then maybe, just maybe, she can write a new story. Because right now, she's not a WNBA player. She's a headline. And that's not how legacies are made. The league doesn't need more noise. It needs substance. It needs teammates who show up early, not stars who show up mad. It needs leaders who rally a locker room, not blow it up from inside. It needs effort, respect, trust. Angel Reese has a choice. She can be remembered as a player who flamed out before she even got started. Or she can be the one who took the hit, faced the music, and came back better. Because talent is everywhere. But character? That's rare. And character is what lasts. Now it's your turn. Do you think the WNBA went too far? Was Angel's firing justified? Can she bounce back from this? Or has she already sealed her fate? Hit the comments. Let's talk about it. And don't forget to subscribe for more real talk breakdowns of every major meltdown, media circus, and moment you can't believe actually happened. Because this wasn't just a suspension. This was the moment the hype machine crashed. And in the ashes, maybe we'll finally get back to basketball. This isn't just a bad look. This is career-altering. And what's worse, it didn't have to be this way. What she didn't have, what no one ever taught her, or maybe what she refused to learn, was that heat without control. It burns everything down. And now, here we are. Not just watching a suspension. Not just another player benched for bad behavior. We're watching a symbol of the league's future get publicly scrubbed out of it. Because let's be real. When the WNBA commissioner steps in personally and announces your suspension, your fine, and your removal from a team, that's not just discipline. That's an exorcism. Angel Reese wasn't just sent home. She was cast out. And it wasn't for a single moment. It wasn't for a missed shot or a bad night or one too many trash-talking technicals. It was for everything. It was for the pattern. The attitude, the behavior that told everyone in the room, I don't need you. I'm bigger than this team. And that's the beginning of the end. Because in this league, talent is just your ticket to try. It's not your permission to act right. It's not your shield from the consequences. And it definitely doesn't entitle you to torch every bridge in the building and expect someone to rebuild it for you. The locker room isn't just a space. It's a trust exercise. Every single day. And the second you break that, it's over. Do you think veterans like Aya Wilson, Nneka Ogwumike, or Breanna Stewart would tolerate a rookie tearing apart their squad from the inside? Absolutely not. Because real leadership means knowing when to speak, and knowing when to shut up and listen. And Angel, she was always speaking. At practice, after games, during games, on Twitter, in interviews. She spoke over her teammates. She spoke against her coaches. And eventually the league said, you've said enough. Now let's talk about that fine. $1.2 million. That's not just a slap on the wrist. That's not, don't do it again money. That's the league drawing a line in the sand. That's them saying, we don't care how many likes you get. We don't care how many eyeballs you bring. If you destroy the integrity of the team, you're out. And look, people are split. Some fans are calling it excessive. Others are saying the league was waiting for a reason to punish her. Some are defending her as a passionate young player who just needed better mentorship. But at a certain point, you have to ask, how many people tried to help before they gave up? Because people did try. Teammates pulled her aside. Coaches called meetings. Media consultants begged her to tone it down, but she wasn't hearing it. She was too busy trying to win the room instead of learning how to be part of it. And now, her name isn't trending for a game winner. It's trending for the collapse. But here's the twist, and let's not pretend it isn't true. This is exactly what the league feared. Not the outburst, not the fine, not even the firing. What they feared was that they helped create this. They built Angel Reese up so fast, so loudly, and with so little guidance that they essentially threw gasoline on a fire and expected her to light the path forward without burning down the whole building. They wanted the drama. They wanted the ratings. They wanted the rivalry. And now that it exploded, they're wiping their hands clean. But that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. If you want players to be leaders, you have to teach them how. If you want them to represent your brand, your league, your mission, you have to invest in their growth, not just their virality. Because Angel didn't get here alone. She didn't combust in a vacuum. This was a slow burn disaster years in the making. And now she's the one paying the price. But don't get it twisted. This doesn't have to be her ending. If anything, this is her moment. Right here, right now. This is where the real Angel Reese could finally show up. Not the viral one. Not the cocky one. Not the headline. Not the brand. The human. The one who sits down away from the cameras and says, I got this wrong. The one who actually reaches out to her old teammates and says, I didn't respect you the way I should have. The one who understands that showing up 30 minutes early to practice and diving for loose balls is leadership, not just pointing at yourself and screaming, I'm her. This league is watching. Every player is watching. The world is watching. And Angel, she has one shot to rewrite her story. Because if she tries to come back with the same energy, the same attitude, the same delusion that everyone else is the problem, no one's opening the door again. But if she comes back different, genuine, grounded, focused, then maybe, just maybe, this becomes a comeback of the decade. Because everyone loves a villain. But what people love more? A villain who grows up. So here's the question we leave with. Does Angel Reese want to be remembered for her potential or for her progression? Because being talented is cool, but being respected? That's everything. This wasn't suspension. This wasn't a slap on the wrist. This wasn't, we'll handle internally. This was final, public, official. The WNBA commissioner herself stepping in, wiping the powder off her hands and saying, we're done here. And now, Angel Reese is out of Chicago, out of the league, out of the narrative she once dominated. Let's talk about what it really means when a player with her kind of talent, her level of celebrity, her magnetism gets fired not because of injury, not because of performance, but because she imploded spectacularly. This is not just a player meltdown. This is era-defining. And you know what's crazy? We all saw it coming. Maybe not the fine. Maybe not the full season suspension. Definitely not a commissioner-level firing. But the energy, the vibe, the slow-creeping chaos, that was there from day one. Because Angel Reese walked into the WNBA like it owed her something. Not confidence, entitlement. And sure, at first it was fun, entertaining. She brought the views, she brought the flash, she brought the you-can't-see-me bravado that turned college games into cultural moments. But then something shifted. She wasn't just flashy, she was divisive. She wasn't just competitive, she was combative. She wasn't just passionate, she was volatile. And the moment that locker room rant hit the airwaves, it was game over. Let's break down what actually happened. Because this wasn't just a player venting in frustration. No, according to multiple sources, Angel Reese lit up that locker room like it was a personal roast battle. She went after teammates. She went after coaches. She went after the entire organization. She questioned their loyalty, their drive, their softness. She reportedly told her teammates they were riding her coattails and that she was the only reason people showed up to watch the sky. And let's be honest, she wasn't entirely wrong, but she was disastrously loud about it. That's the thing about truth in team sports. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. And who you're trying to elevate when you say it. Angel? She wasn't trying to lift the team. She was trying to humiliate them. And when you're supposed to be a leader, a star, a face of the franchise, you don't do that. You don't blow up the very people who are supposed to trust you. You don't torch the locker room because you're mad the ball didn't come your way in the third quarter. You know who does that? Someone who isn't ready for the responsibility they've been handed. So the league took it back. Swiftly, brutally, completely, suspended for the season. Fine over $1.2 million. Released from her team. And let's not pretend this is just about that rant. This has been building. Technical fouls. Sideline tantrums. A physical altercation with Aaliyah Edwards that had everyone wondering if we were watching a basketball game or a reality show reunion episode. It was a storm waiting to happen. And now that it's here, it's leveled the entire narrative the league tried to build. Let's talk about that for a second. Because this wasn't just about Angel versus Chicago. It was supposed to be about Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark. The league's big gamble. The marketing dream. The buzzy Battle of the Brands rivalry that was going to catapult the WNBA into pop culture relevancy. Two young stars. Two polarizing figures. One fiery and defiant. One calm and precise. Put them on opposite ends of the court and watch the ratings explode. Except, you can't force a rivalry when one side refuses to do the work. You can't have a compelling hero versus anti-hero when the anti-hero starts fighting her own teammates instead. The truth is, the Caitlin versus Angel storyline didn't collapse because of injuries. It didn't fail because of fatigue. It died because one side tried to be bigger than the game. And Caitlin, she's still showing up, still taking hard fouls and post-game questions with grace, still leading her team through adversity without throwing anyone under the bus. She's not perfect. She doesn't have to be, but she shows up. Angel, she showed off. And the difference couldn't be clearer now. It's not about who gets more media coverage. It's about who earns the respect of the people beside them. The vets in Chicago, they weren't inspired by Angel. They were exhausted, trying to balance game plans while walking on eggshells, knowing one bad pass or one offhand comment could set off another firestorm. And the league saw it. They saw a team tearing apart the seams and a player pouring gasoline on the stitches. And the commissioner? She didn't just discipline her. She made an example of her. And you know what? She had to. Because the WNBA has too much to prove right now. It's finally getting eyes, attention, investment. It cannot afford to let one player, no matter how talented or famous, hijack the story. This isn't college anymore. This is a league with grown women, careers, legacies. And if you walk in thinking you're bigger than the institution, you'll be shown the door. Now here's the plot twist. Angel Reese still has one last card to play. Redemption. Because no matter how badly she fumbled the moment, the league does love a comeback. The fans, they love growth arcs. And if Angel is willing to actually learn from this, genuinely, quietly, deeply, she could still rise again. But it won't be easy. Because when you publicly alienated your team, embarrass your league, and flip the spotlight from basketball to chaos, your next move can't be cute. It has to be humble. No branding campaigns. No notes app apology with a cute quote at the end. No fake tears in an interview about how hard it's been. She needs to disappear for a minute. Train. Listen. Apologize. Rebuild. Not her brand. Her credibility. Because talent is only ever half the story. The rest? That's heart, work ethic, accountability, grit. You know, the stuff you can't fake when the cameras are off. So now it's on her. She's got the time. She's got the talent. But does she have a humility? That's the real comeback question. Because one day, another team will call. The question is, who will they be calling? The star? The brand? Or the teammate? And let me be crystal clear. The next locker room she enters, they're going to remember all of this. And she better come ready to prove she's changed. Not just say it. Because in this league, you get one spotlight. What you do with it, that's your legacy. It's not just about one player getting fired. It's about watching a potential legend in the making crash into the cold, hard wall of accountability. It's the realization that star power is enough. Not in this league. Not in this moment. Not anymore. Because the WNBA, it's growing up, and it's leaving behind anyone who can't do the same. For months, Angel Reese walked around like she was the league. Like the cameras followed her because she demanded them to. Like the fans were in the stands for her, and everyone else? Background noise. And now, crickets. No more pressers. No more smoke. No more I'm her energy. Just silence. Just that lingering feeling of what could have been. Because that's the part that really stings. The wasted potential. She could have been the face. She could have been the force. She could have helped build the league, brick by brick, moment by moment, alongside other rising stars like Clark, Buchers, Boston, and all the vets who paved the way. But instead of building, she bulldozed. And now the WNBA isn't celebrating her. It's cleaning up the mess. This is what happens when the story gets bigger than the game. When the ego grows faster than the stat sheet. When someone starts thinking of the show instead of just a part of it. But here's the thing, and yeah, we're going to say it one more time. It's not too late. She can still come back. She should come back. But only if she's willing to earn it this time. No shortcuts. No PR campaigns. No Instagram captions about how they counted me out. Just work. Just growth. Just time spent proving the person she wants to be. Because one day, another coach might ask her to join their roster. And when they do, they won't just be asking, can she play? They'll be asking, can she change? Because the WNBA, it doesn't need perfect players. It needs players who care, who commit, who contribute, not just on the court, but in the locker room, in the culture, in the legacy of this league. So if Angel wants back in, she's got to decide. Is she still playing for herself? Or is she finally ready to play for something bigger? Now it's your turn. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Are you rooting for Angel's comeback? Or are you done giving her chances? And don't forget to subscribe, because the story, it's not over. It's just the end of chapter 1.